out. And I believe that there are several decades of projected growth that would allow for.
Okay.
And not only that, but that new system also allows us to do repairs in the off-season because we are only using half of it at a time.
Exactly.
Yes.
We can stay current on repairs instead of falling behind.
Yes.
Marilyn McVeigh.
Sorry.
Mr. Villan needs to reset the timer.
My apologies, go ahead.
Well, I worked for an corporation. We worked with the sheriff's department. And this is the first time I've seen the letter of settlement discussed even. But Mr. Foster has to be out on cloud 9 compared to the way it used to be when the sheriff were here. People were hurt, raped, killed because a sheriff was in Ehrenberg or elsewhere. I worked with the cops, and the people feel far more secure with our police department and the fact that they have somebody to talk to, and immediately somebody is there to help them. If somebody is breaking in, it can be a minor thing. They don't have the fear that I recognized many, many years ago. So this is outrageous as far as I'm concerned. I feel sad because I worked with the Chamber of Commerce for so many years, and we need to go forward with our town. It has wonderful people that live here. There's only a few bad apples that would like to see things go away. And I think there is enough people here that can tell Mr. Foster he's way out of line right now.
Hello, I'm Pam Caskey. I moved to Quartzsite a year ago, January, from 3 Greeners Park out towards out of Brenda. One of the main reasons we came here was because the lack of help from the police department. Many a times, people were called in for help, and it was all over before they got there. I am a diehard Yankee. I'm sorry for that. I have a lot of people in my family who have served on as selectmen and everything else. The board here is elected by the people. The town also hired a town manager. Why are we not letting them manage the town and run things like they're supposed to be? And can we not get the people together and have a vote of the people and see what they want? I believe the town council members are carrying out the things that the people want. But is the mayor God? Does he have one word and then everything shuts down? I'm sorry, it's wrong.
I just want to respond. The people always have a right, and they always have a control over their elected officials, and that's through the recall process and voting.
Jennifer Jones, resident. First, I would like to point out that it was not the mayor, but the 6 of you sitting up there that caused this litigation. You seem to think that the majority of people support this proposal, yet rather than let it go to a voter referendum and let the people show you that, you chose consciously to subvert the will of the voters and then go back and declare the emergency over again after you had done it as a non-emergency. So it is the 6 of you and not the mayor who caused the litigation. Also, I find it interesting that Councilwoman Crooks is complaining about $17,000 in legal fees when it's this very council who squandered $61,000 in legal fees to sue the county over the task force. Councilman Orgeron complained to Mary Scott and Monica Timberlake about them trying to have Kevin Murphy meet with them to discuss rates, to negotiate something with the people of this town. Yet I don't see anyone complaining about the billable hours for the attorney or the engineer to meet with to meet with USDA or WIFA. I'd like to point out to you that in October 28th of 2008, At the time, Town Manager Dan Field gave a presentation to the council on the amended 208 plan for wastewater treatment plant expansion progress. A amended 208 plan has never been filed. The issues that we have with ADEQ about whether we're at capacity have never been addressed since 2008. No one in town staff or management has gone back to ADEQ to disagree with that determination. Further, this memorandum contains numerous false statements. For one thing, WIFA has not withheld the money or the project. The WIFA loan was specifically to repair manhole covers and install the pipe that's being installed on Kewen right now. Money has been dispersed on that. The WIFA loan was a year before any of this happened. I know because I've been in touch with Nancy Veras and Patricia Incognito. I have all the loan documents. You have never asked for the loan documents. That is absolute negligence on your part. You don't even know what these agreements said that were started back in 07 and 08. I do. I absolutely do. We've talked a lot about repair. Mr. Murphy says interim repair costs. Yet Mr. Murphy, by state law, is statutorily responsible for the maintenance of the infrastructure, and he allowed it to deteriorate, according to you, on his watch. Yet you have never pursued anything against Mr. Murphy for dropping his duty. You know, there's a lot of issues in here related to what this money is supposed to go for, and you don't even have the documents, nor have you made them available to the public. And item number 11, current sewage rates are significantly impacted by the repayment schedule. That went into effect last year. There's numerous other blatantly false statements in here, but I'll address them in my newspaper. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Cowell. I've been a resident here since 1969, 45 years. I am a property owner. I have set up there where you are, and it's not an easy job. I do want to discuss one thing. This is about the mayor. Whenever I was on council, we did an ad hoc committee because he continuously disregarded the laws of the town. He's continuing to do this. I think something needs to be done to rectify his position, either by voting him down, or if there's a legal way to silence through legal proceedings. He has done nothing but harm our town continuously. I am a realtor. People come to me and say, you know what, I'd love to buy, but the politics in this town scares me away. Everything on the internet scares me away. We'll come and visit and stay out on the LTBA, but I'd love to buy. So this is about him wanting the veto power. He is not the governor. He is not the president. He was voted the same as we were. So I'm just saying that this is truly about Mr. Foster, not the water, not the sewer, which is, it does need to be completed, and it can be done. We worked hard to get this, but the major problem, what is holding up the town in development, in progressing on all points, is Mr. Foster. And if he was a mayor, he would be trying to boost the town, not destroy it. Thank you.
My name is Bert Day, and the letter, this is strictly blackmail by the mayor. And I've come from big cities, and I have never in my life seen a mayor that blackmails this town. And that's all this is blackmail to get his way. And you definitely need to keep the police department here in town.
Ms. Frausto, you ought to move up to that, further up in line. That way you'll actually get up here.
Ladies first.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert.
Mayor and council,
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Reverend Terry Frosto, a citizen of this community. From looking at this paperwork, I don't see somebody who loves the community. I see somebody that's focused totally on themselves, not the people here, not the residents who live here year-round. I think it's a personal thing, narcissistic. But, you know, I don't see somebody that loves the community. I don't. I see somebody out there that's screaming we're spending too much money and then turns around and sues the town so the town has to sue more. Does that make sense to you? He's trying to blackmail the town and the council. And actually, you know what? He's not blackmailing the council. He's blackmailing every person in this town that's a voter. And you know what? A part of that is oppression. He is trying to make it so that we're oppressed. He's got people so that they do not want to speak up or say anything against him because they're afraid of retribution. They're afraid of being on his webpage. They're afraid of being in the paper. They're afraid, period. They're afraid for their family members, everything. This person has oppressed this community. And I think it's a crying shame that somebody who's so centered on themselves and their abilities, and he thinks he has the town between a rock and a hard spot. But is he? And I would not personally back down to his demands. I wouldn't. You won't find any place in government that backs down to blackmail, and that is what this is.
Wait a minute. Okay, go. Jeff Gilbert, President, former Chief of Police. It's nice to hear the community still support the police department, and because I still take great pride in the leadership that I had there. Most of you probably heard the news story about the mayor of San Marino, California, who was caught throwing a bag of dog poop into his neighbor's walkway earlier this month. After being caught on video and being exposed to his community and the world, the mayor announced his immediate resignation to the city and the council. In his letter, he wrote, "As is well known, early in the evening of Saturday, June 7th, I had a lapse of judgment and discarded dog waste on my neighbor's walkway. It was insensitive, disrespectful, and wrong. I have apologized to my neighbor for my action, and I will pay the fine for littering." Well, Mayor Foster, at least he had an excuse. He had a lapse of judgment. You, however, have no excuses. What you have done to this community goes beyond insensitive, disrespectful, and wrong. Your egotistical, self-righteous actions that have cost this town and the citizens tens of thousands of dollars, not to mention the lasting harm you have created for this community, cannot be tolerated any longer. Stop throwing your bags of crap around this town. Do the right thing. Apologize and resign. Be half the Marine you claim to be, or at least be half a man and take responsibility for your actions. And if you have no integrity to do at least that, then roll up your sewer hose and leave town the same way you came in.
Any more comments from the public? Oh, yes, there is.
Jean Winter, resident, RV park owner. I've been here since '97. And you made a comment earlier about a 10-year sewer freeze. There was never a 10-year sewer freeze, ever. My sewer rates have always went up. And the RV parks decided to back Mayor Foster because you guys could not come up with a economical way for the RV parks to support this loan. We don't mind paying our share, but when our profits decrease to the point where we have no revenue, we get upset, we get scared, and the residents of this town are going to foot this bill. Not the RV parks, not the snowbirds, because they're leaving. The RV revenue mine has dropped 10% a year in the last 5 years. I've got proof of that. Now, one of the RV park members met with Mary Scott and Laura Bruno. We haven't heard from our new town manager to show him our facts. He hasn't asked. Nobody's asked to talk to us. Thank you.
Michael Pianga. I'm a resident in Arroyos. I've been a resident of Quartzsite now for 3 years. Rented here for 2 years before I bought. The issue is the lawsuit, and what can we do about it? Is that correct? Well, at this point, I think I agree with one of my somebody who's formerly spoke, you don't dance with the devil, and that's what you're dealing with here. Okay? And we are between a rock and a hard place, and that's where he wants this town. Don't dance with the devil. That's my input to the town council. To the RV park owners, those of you who supported Mr. Foster because you thought he could resolve your problems, you made a bad choice, because he doesn't have a solution for your problems. He doesn't have a solution. All the money that this town has had to spend over the years, well before I got here, could have been spent wisely on marketing this town for the RV owners. There are people in Calgary, where my brother-in-law lives, where oil boom is happening. They're making $150,000 a year with 10th grade educations. And guess what they're buying? $150,000 RVs left and right. There's an RV sales on every corner. Guess what they're buying up in North Dakota? RVs, and they're making $150,000 a year. They're 40 years old, and guess what they're going to be retiring? They're 45 and they're 50. And they want to come to where the sun is. But this town has had to spend all that money that could have generated revenue for the RV parks. Has to spend money fighting a man who does not care at all about you. He does not get that straight. He does not care. I apologize for turning around on you. I do. And I'm done. But what I'm saying is, RV park owners, wake up. You've backed the wrong guy. He's going to, if we don't get this water done, you aren't going to have a business to have revenue with without water. And that's all I have to say.
Am I allowed another comment?
It's not called to the public, it is.
Okay, we have one of our public members wishes to make a second comment. Are we allowed under the 3-minute rule?
It's your discretion.
Different subject.
What's the consensus of council?
Sure.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Elmer.
Well, people seem to be under the impression that the people come here because of the RV parks. They come here because of the sunshine and the warm winters, and they're going to come somewhere for that, because they're not going to give that. Like the other man talked about, people in North Dakota and Wisconsin, places like that, you know they're going to be coming and bringing the motorhome down here, and they're going to have to go somewhere or start a new town. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Anybody else? Oh, we have another repeat customer here. There was somebody ahead of you.
You know, I'm sorry, Terry Frostover. The problem is the way that it's come about. I mean, we can do this peacefully. We can talk about things peacefully with the RV parks. It was not necessary to do this. It was not necessary. Things can be talked over peacefully. Things can be discussed. It needs to be a group effort with everybody involved. But to just jump out there with anger and to sue and to do this was all the wrong way to approach it. And it would have been settled a lot faster if we had done this peacefully without throwing out the lawsuit word. And by the way, if he can veto, maybe you can impeach.
Think about it. There is a way that you could finance this, since you're clearly at an impasse, and although the mayor did make an offer to settle, the council made no counteroffer. The council made no good faith effort to negotiate. The council just said, no, let's go forward with the lawsuit. But you've also forgotten the possibility that you could do like normal towns do and float a bond initiative. Do something like that to where the people would vote on it to pay to upgrade and expand the system, except voting on it was what you tried to avoid because it was going to go forward. It wasn't an emergency. You never declared an emergency to begin with. It was a standard thing to be done, been worked on for years. It was only when the people objected to the punitive repayment schedule that it became an emergency. And clearly, 6 months later, the sky hasn't fallen, toilets keep flushing, there's still no technical emergency. And, you know, it was Nancy Veras who said this loan does not have an expiration date. However, she told me that after a period of time past the date in which a specific document had been executed, it would have to be reviewed. Now, I'm going to suggest that since we do have an election coming and a chance for all the people on both sides of the aisles to have their say-so in how this is resolved, that you take a deep breath, count to 10, and wait for the election. The people will tell you by whether or not you keep your seats if this is what they want. The people will tell you if they want to negotiate on this. The people will tell you if they want their RV parks to stay open. But because the election is coming up in the next couple of months before any panic button can be set on this loan execution, relax. Let the people speak, because that's what you were trying to avoid when you declared the emergency.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Helen Pianga, resident for about 3 years here in Quartzsite. And I just want to offer a bit of reflection for everyone in this town ever since I've been here. The main problem that I have seen with this infighting that has gone on, that has also impacted the businesses that are here, the school that I teach at, and every relationship I have seen in this town, is forgetting what our founding father, George Washington, lived by. And that is, I do not ascribe evil motives to anyone. And as long as everyone is pointing a finger and ascribing evil motives, saying they're doing this because of that, and they're doing this because they want that, and they're doing this, we will make no progress. My mother taught me when you point your finger, there are 3 more pointing back at you. So if everyone would let go those accusations for evil motives and begin to work together the progress that everyone has expressed that they want to see, it will happen. Thank you.
I see no more speakers. Council, we have anything more to discuss? If not, Susan?
Yes.
Okay, do we have anything more from you guys?
No, Tricia's shaking her head no too.
Okay, well, I guess that's about it then.
I have one last one.
You have, okay.
Sorry about that. One last question of council. I've certainly heard a lot here from all of our residents, and I've heard a lot of displeasure. I've heard words like impeach or whatever. Realistically, council, does this town have the ability to charge the mayor with malfeasance or nonfeasance? I just did.
I don't think she heard you.
Did you hear? You're asking, they're thinking.
Are they still there?
Is this question for us? I'm sorry.
Yes, I said, I'm sorry, I asked after hearing a lot of comments from the audience here about their displeasure with the mayor. We definitely know there's recall, it can happen. But realistically, because of the time frame here and everything that we're losing very fast about this wastewater improvement, is there any grounds? Is this council, these people are asking us to do something, is there anywhere we can look at, or could you look at nonfeasance or malfeasance for us, please?
The council, there is no law that's been broken. So I'm not sure malfeasance or misfeasance, there's just no law that's been broken. And a general law city does not have the ability to impeach an elected official. The remedy is if there's a desire to remove an elected official from office, the remedy is recall for the town. So no law has been broken, and so I don't see any lawsuit based on that, if that's part of the question.
That's a plus, thank you.
That's the question, thank you.
So in essence, what you're saying is recall is the only answer we have.
At this point in time, yes, that's what she said. Anything more?
Before we do the motion, and I realize that this is part of my memo and it is specified on the agenda, although it is a separate, at least a smaller piece of the bigger picture. I did state in the memorandum that staff would be seeking direction from council as to the appropriate direction for solar projects in the future. So I would place that in front of you at a future date as an agenda item.
Yes.
So I just want that out there so
Save
we
that
can
for the
discuss that.
future.
Right, well, it is here, so I want to address it, I want to introduce it to you, but that is something else to look into.
Thank you.
Just one more comment, that all of this is a special meeting, and we're going to place these same items on the regular council meeting on Tuesday, so we'll be able to have more public input.
Are you asking for this exact?
Well, nearly, because we've got people that can't come in the daytime. We've got people that came in the daytime, and they're here, and they probably won't be coming back for the nighttime. We've got many residents that are working that haven't had the opportunity for this presentation. You'll just have to take a deep breath and read it again.
If that's not a problem, if council is giving staff direction to add this to Tuesday night's agenda, there will be a delay in getting the agenda documents out, but I will ensure that it's on there. We are revisiting this.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Well, just quickly, again, Mayor Foster, in his letter on town letterhead that is illegal, he did clarify that the majority of the citizens of Quartzsite are opposed to this project. And clearly, that is not what I heard from the majority of the citizens in the audience. So, that's it. Just a statement.
Well, one last time, and you pointed this out again. We did pass an ordinance, council is still there, and I think Monica is maybe, are you asking that they look into possibly charging the misdemeanor for Mr. Foster, again, illegally using the town letterhead?
Well, if there's...
I mean, it's not going to get him out of office, but he might get fined.
If there's something that can be done about illegally using the town letterhead, then obviously, please look into that. But the statement more was that, according to the letter, the majority of the citizens are behind this lawsuit, and that's not what I'm hearing.
That's correct.
Is there anything more?
Motion to adjourn? Are you done?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we are adjourned. At this point, I would like to thank everybody out there in the general public area, those of you who spoke and those of you who applauded those who spoke. And I don't care whether you spoke for or against what was discussed today. You did make your voice heard, and that's what democracy is all about. Thank you.
Anybody that wants to sign a recall petition, there's two people outside with them, Norma Crooks and her husband.
Susan, we're done. Thank you.